Today I fucked up by offering a ride. I went to the gas station earlier today. As I was heading back to my car, a girl standing outside the door complimented my cologne. I politely thanked her as I walked past, and she used that as an opening to ask me for a favor. She looked pretty sad. She said she was stranded and desperately needed a ride to a place that was 5 minutes down the road. Trying to pay it forward, I agreed to give her a ride. She said, "Hold on, I need to get something inside. I'll be right back." She went back into the gas station and then came back out to my car. When she got in, I noticed that she'd bought a box of condoms. I thought that was odd, but I didn't say anything. So I'm driving down the road toward where she's directing me, trying to make small talk, when she abruptly leans over, head almost in my lap, and starts trying to unbutton my pants. I shit you not, I almost crashed the car. "Whoa!" I exclaimed, "What are you doing?" To which she replied, "Oh, I thought you wanted to fool around." I told her I just wanted to give her a ride and that she didn't owe me anything. "Oh you?" She said, "Honey, I charge." I tried to explain to her that this was not the situation I thought it was. Her whole demeanor changed after that and she became very rude, barking clipped directions at me and nothing else beyond. She had me drop her off at a super sketchy hotel with lots of unsavory characters milling about in the parking lot, definitely more prostitutes. I should have known. Now the friendly clerk I talk to almost every day probably thinks I'm a thirsty John. Too long didn't read. I gave a ride to a girl who turned out to be a prostitute. The only time I picked up a hitchhiker was in high school and he was leaving the long road up to the school, so I just picked him up. By a twist of fate he is now my best friend for 6 years now. And no, after the ride I did not see him for probably at least 3 years. It was just a lot of happenstance meetings and eventually surprise roommate before it really kicked off. Edit, I did not expect this to blow up so much. I'm thrilled that this story is enjoyed so much, and thank you all for reading, sharing, asking questions, and of course giving me the fantastic shiny awards. I have to go buy a trophy case now for my first trophies. So, how'd you guys meet? He was hitchhiking one day and I picked him up. Pretty neat story emo. Seems kinda fated. I like my streetwalkers to be direct to the point. Like this one that stopped me in public while walking. "Do you want a blowjob?" Shake my head and continue to walk. She's now following me. "Are you sure?" Nod, and like a jet fighter she banks right and disappears into the crowd. Stay safe boys. No hoochie is worth the itch. While I hate the word or calling women it, I think it would have been funnier to say no bitch is worth the itch. As awkward as it was an honest mistake. It could have been a lot worse. Somebody could have been waiting for her to pull up with a mark, so count yourself lucky. I thought about that afterward too. It was a very real possibility and I'm lucky it didn't happen. Did something like this once. Told me her John just left her at the gas station. When she said my John I thought like how some women talk about their husbands, i.e. my Henry. She gave me a weird look when I replied this John guy sounds like a real jerk. Didn't hit me right away. The last time I paid it forward and gave someone a ride my car smelled like stale urine for weeks. It seemed no amount of shampoo, scrubbing, or vacuuming could get rid of that smell. Windows down and sunlight. Ugh. Fortunately no repugnant, bodily fluid odors on this one, although she did smell of cigarettes. She had a pack of Newports with her. Hey. Maybe that was another sign. I kid, people who smoke Newports. You are not all sex workers. Today I fucked up by using my friend's bathroom and not locking the door. So yesterday I was over at my friend's place just chillin', playing Rocket League, and whatnot. He still lives with his parents and since it was the weekend, all his family was there. That's no big deal though since I know all of them pretty well. All of the sudden, I need to shit bad. Like real bad. So I rushed downstairs to the toilet, opened the door, looked for the key, but couldn't find it. I decided to say fuck it and just leave the door unlocked since I was about to shit my pants. Found out later the key was in a little tray next to the door. Why not leave on the door? I don't know. Anyways, get the job done and feel extremely relieved. So I go ahead and clean up the mess. I usually go for 2 wipes while sitting down and then stand up and clean the rest. Turns out that's not greatest idea if the door is unlocked. Out of nowhere the door opens and his sister, roughly my age 22, is there. Just in complete shock, staring at my willy just hanging there, and not saying a single word. After a good minute of staring at my private area she just said open the window when you're done, please. Once she closed the door she laughed so hard almost I had to laugh even though I felt extremely embarrassed at that moment. So far it doesn't seem like she told anyone what happened. But it's safe to say the rest of the day was pretty awkward. Especially dinner with his entire family. Too long didn't read, I took a shit at my friend's house, didn't lock the door, and therefore had his sister staring at my willy while wiping my behind. Edit/update 1, I usually never post or comment ever and rather just consume content. So having my first post blow up like this is insane. Thanks for all the upvotes, comments, and awards. You guys are awesome, smile. Edit/update 2, yes. She stared me down more for like 5 to 10 seconds. Not a full minute, though it felt like forever at that moment. Edit/update 3. I learned a lot about doors thanks to this post, and apparently a bathroom door with a key is not as common around the world as it is here in Germany. It's usually no big deal since most people leave the key within the lock, so if you enter the bathroom all you do is turn it. Meaning it's just as easy as pushing a button for a latch. Not sure why they stored the key in a tray though. It may have felt like a minute but for sure it would have only been a few seconds. That's unfortunate though. If it was a minute, she's definitely got a poop smelling kink. I was in the pool. Might not be the best situation but I was always told it pays to advertise. Any press is good press. The summer after I graduated from college I decided to live with a guy I'd lived with a few times throughout college. Knew it could be weird, but I was hard on cash and this was the best deal I could find. Each of us had our own bathrooms and bedrooms. My bathroom was more in a common area, but still agreed it was only to be used by my guests and myself, and I'd never use his nor would my guests. I come home one Saturday to his whole family there, no warning they'd be there. Well, I smoked marijuana in my bathroom to use the fan, and noticed when I came in the door was cracked to my bathroom and the light was still on. I panicked because my stuff was out and someone had apparently decided to go into my bathroom, though they were not supposed to. So I walk past his entire family and open the bathroom door, to his dad taking a fucking shit on my toilet. The door was fucking cracked open and the whole family watched me walk past and directly to the door, without saying a single fucking word. Needless to say we didn't stay roommates much longer than that. LMFAO. Dude, you're getting shit particles on my weed. Seems like you have 2 friends at that house now. Today I fucked up by choosing a stupid password for my bank account. Okay, this happened like a month ago. A local financial institution created an app for their bank, which is groundbreaking since our country is pretty backwards technology-wise. So I opened an account on the app. After a month I didn't like the services so I wanted to close my account. The app said I had to head down there to take that kind of decision backwards country, remember? So I went to their center. I explained everything to the gorgeous woman at the desk. I felt like Chandler in that episode of Friends. Then she asked for my password to finalize the operation, and then it hit me. The password that I had chosen was Big Dick 69, and I had to say it out loud in front of her. That was the longest minute of my life. I wished the earth would just open up and swallow me. Too long didn't read, created a bank account online and chose a juvenile password, went to close the account and had to say the password out loud to the bank lady. Hunter 2. Weird, all I see on my screen is. I just realized I could have changed the password in the app and then headed to the bank, person face palming, but then you wouldn't have this story. Worked on the phones for the Santander Bank in the UK. We never saw passwords, but we could access the secret questions if the customer needed to reset them. One guy had to reset his because he couldn't seem to remember the name of his niece, his primary school or his first pet. Really surprising, to be honest. I would definitely remember if all three had the same name, and it was Fuck Santander. During a high school graduation ceremony, my niece is next. Please, a huge round of applause to our next graduate, Fuck Santander. If you have a bad password, just spell it out and no one will care. BIGDICK69. It's going to be their funny story no matter what. The best tactic is to go with it and acknowledge that it's immature but hilarious to hear it out loud.